Sreshta, what's happening? I wanted to go over what we talked about yesterday in terms of patternizing and then looking for the ball to attack on. Um, so what we've been talking about the last week or so is the patternizing to the backhand side. So just to review quickly from the other video we talked about, we're essentially going to start on the backhand side. Okay, kind of pulling the opponent over there. You're the red racket right here. Okay, naturally you would slide over here because you hit a backhand cross court to their backhand. Okay, and then what we're looking to do with this is to get a ball here where you can go inside out forehand back, okay, to the opponent, kind of gaining yourself this position right here. And then the patterns based on where they hit would continue to kind of maintain that forehand control. So we looked at like a 4 or 5 or 6 ball kind of pattern last time. We've been working on in groups or in lessons as well. As you know, 6 ball rallies, semi rallies are not common. Most of your rallies are going to be around like 3 or 4, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to similar concept. We're going to kind of change the thinking a little bit. We're going to look at certain balls that we can attack on. So we're going to patternize again, like we talked about, but we're going to look for certain balls to attack and kind of and do some damage on with the forehand, basically. So if I spin up one more ball here, okay. So we're looking for 3 different types of balls, okay, that we can attack. So we're looking for these balls here. And I'll tell you where we can go with these balls here. So looking for, these are going to be all forehands, okay? And these are about like the gray line from at the club, right? They're bouncing around the gray line-ish. So these balls, you can step up on them, attack them, and then do damage with the forehand. So these are all forehands here. And let me spin up one more on the player side here as well. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at attack mostly to the forehand side to open the court up, okay, and then the inside out here in the middle ball. So these balls here, we can go either way. So this ball would be our inside in forehand. So naturally, with our blue line here, it's going to have to go here, okay, opening the court up. This ball here with the white line here is going to be an option of forehand cross, inside in, depends on kind of where this ball is, or inside out, representing this pink line. And then the blue ball here is going to be either forehand cross, representing your blue path, or the yellow line here is going to be our forehand down the line. So these 3 balls we're going to be looking for. So the patternizing that we'll go through in the next couple weeks, and I'll help out analyze with the app here, is how to get these 3 balls here based on patterns. And just to remember, you don't have to go through a 6-ball rally, okay, or anything like that to get these balls. You may have to, but most likely these are going to be presented to you in probably like 2 or 3 balls, okay? So let's go through these different scenarios. Okay, we'll start with this one right here, this inside in a couple ways we can get that. And then we'll train this on Friday and next week as well when we can hit a bit more. And then we'll go to the middle ball and then we'll go to the wide ball here. Okay, so if we reset these, okay, reset these here, reset our players to the middle. We're going to look at this inside in. So spin up a couple balls here. Okay. Okay, so the inside in we're looking for. So if we look for, a neutral rally, okay, right down the middle. First ball you have that you can direct, you're going to go to the backhand corner. Okay, we talked about that a couple times. Okay, this pulls your opponent over here. Okay, you're naturally going to be over here because we went to the backhand cross court or inside out. Okay, to the person's backhand here. Okay, so if we get a ball here, we have options. We can go back to the backhand, okay, with the inside out or backhand cross, which we talked about, okay, or if the ball is not hit that well, we can step in and we can go inside in on this, okay, right here immediately and open up the court. So this then would pull our opponent over here. You would recover to about here, expecting the cross court ball over here, okay, which then if that happens, you would slide here and then go back in down the line, or forehand down the line, sorry, pulling this opponent over here, and then you would slide over here to cover the cross backhand as well. So this pattern can be recycled as well. We talked about that a little bit in groups. So what I mean by recycled is that this pattern of initially going to the backhand corner here, represented by the blue line, okay, you're expecting back this ball right here, which is represented by the green line. You're going inside in, which is your pink line right here. This forces your opponent over here. Okay, you should be able to do enough damage there to move over. Okay, to actually do some damage here to get ahead of the rally. You're going to move over here to recover. They're going to go forehand cross court most likely. Okay, you would slide here. Your forehand goes down the line, represented by the green line here. This forces the opponent over here. You would need to recover here to cover the backhand cross. If they go backhand cross here with this green line, you can go back here and you can recycle this and do this whole process again. Go inside in with this pink line, forces them here. You would slide here. If they go cross with the yellow line here, and then you go down the line with the forehand with the green line, forces them over here. Okay, and then slide over here. They get another ball here. You go back inside in with the forehand here. So when you watch me play a little bit, I like to open the court up early. That's kind of my scenario. This is more in line of kind of what I use. I use patterns, but I mostly use like balls that I'm looking to get. So myself personally, I'm looking for forehand cross courts, backhand down the lines, okay, and backhand cross courts mostly. So most of my patterns are based around getting the forehand cross that can do damage, getting the backhand down the line, okay, or getting the backhand cross court. As we talked about yesterday, my forehand down the line isn't like directly down the line, isn't great. I actually like to have a little bit of an angle. Okay. And then I inside in when I was playing well, the backhand cross and backhand line are pretty good. So my patterns are kind of based around looking for those balls. So I think for yourself, anything here, or we talked about here from a patternizing standpoint, are going to be good. So you're looking for these three balls that are basically neutral, and then how to manipulate patterns around getting those three balls. So the first one we just talked about here was getting this ball right here and what to do with this, okay? Next, let's talk about the middle ball here. How do we get this ball? So a lot of these patterns are going to be the same, okay, for this ball as well as the inside in. So naturally, if we start on the backhand side, Okay, we talked about that, representing this blue line right here. Okay. Um, Instead of they go backhand cross court, maybe initially they give you a ball right here. Maybe your backhand cross, or this was an inside out, gave you a decent ball right here. They can step in. You can still go cross court here, which I think makes sense with this pink line, forces them over here. Okay. You would probably stay about here, okay, expecting the cross court forehand. If that happens, then you slide here and go down the line with um, the forehand, with the green line here with the forehand on the line, forces them over here. Now, in this scenario, in that whole kind of pattern recycles that we talked about, in this scenario here, if you go here and they go forehand down the line, which they certainly can, okay, depends on how good your cross court forehand is. This would force you to slide here naturally and go back cross court with the backhand most likely, pulling them here, okay, and then you're going to start over with that. So you're going to go, so your backhand cross court, they've just moved over here. You're going to slide here, protecting the backhand dead line if they go there, but also expecting this forehand inside in, forehand cross court area right here. So again, if they hit this ball after this, ball goes here, you would slide over and then go cross court again, moving them around again, and again you just slide over. So basically what you're doing is you're looking again for these kind of three balls, and you're immediately going to open the court when you get them. You don't have to wait 6 balls, 4 balls, whatever. If you get one of these balls, bang, you go inside in, you go forehand cross, immediately get them moving, and then just expecting what they're going to get back. What you're going to get back after that is kind of the biggest key. So then the expectation back, probability standpoint, would allow you to know what your next move is. So you already know that you're going forehand down the line here. That's just kind of programmed in your head. And you know that when they slide over, okay, you're going to slide here, and you're immediately going to know they're probably going to go backhand cross court. Your move crosses, go back cross, or reopen it up. Or if you get something with a forehand, reopen it up right here. The third one here is the forehand cross. Okay, so this one can go either way. You can either go, if you follow these lines, you can go forehand cross, or you can go forehand down the line. Okay, so in these scenarios, um, if you open it up to the forehand side first, so we talked about opening to the backhand, or I'm sorry, targeting the backhand side first and working out of that corner. If you find yourself neutral here in a rally and you get a ball that you can go forehand cross first, okay, get them moving, which I do a lot myself. Okay, this positions you here. Now, the big thing you're going to have if you open to the forehand, if you target the forehand side first, is you got to have a backhand cross court that's solid. Okay. But if they go forehand cross, which they could, this will get you this position. This will get this ball right here. You would slide over. You can either go 2 areas here. You can go forehand down the line naturally and get them to move, or you can go short angle forehand right here. Okay. Now, if you go short angle forehand here, um, they're going to have to pull up, obviously, here and grab that and cut off the angle there, which they can either go back forehand cross, okay, or they can go down the line on. So this is what we talked about a backhand that's solid. The forehand down line, you have to be able to come over, get solid, and hit a deep ball to the backhand side. This is going to set up your next ball. This is probably the most crucial point, or not bar, stroke in this ball, in this point here. So this would allow you to reset this forehand court positioning right here. Okay, if you don't hit a solid backhand cross here, okay, then they're going to be able to move over here and attack your forehand here, get you to move. Okay, and now they're in a dominant position right here with the forehand. So the biggest ball, the biggest kind of like stroking this pattern is the backhand cross court. So for yourself, since we're with the one-hander, the one hand, the backhand slice is going to be important. I think it's going to be hard not having a two-hand, not having the open stance backhand to kind of to deflect this and get it deep back here. I think that's much easier with the open stance backhand with the two-hander, but the slice will work fine as well. So this backhand slice that you hit here, that's got a little bit of float on it in terms of like it's got some air under it, so you can get in court positioning, is going to be massive. Okay, for this particular pattern. And then from here, once this person's over here, we kind of reset this whole pattern. Now you're here in the forehand position. Now we're looking for balls again that are here, okay, or here with this green line that I can go inside in with, okay, or cross court with, kind of wherever that ball lies, and open the court back up again. Okay. If we reverse it here, okay, and you attack the forehand side first, like we just talked about, okay, and let's say you hit deep here. Let's say they go cross court back, okay, here, which is certainly common, like we talked about, and then you would go down the line forehand in this opposite side, okay, that's going to pull them here. Your recovery position would be here, expecting the backhand cross, which then you can recycle this pattern, tack into the forehand side, or if they go backhand down the line, then you can slide over and still go to this forehand side over here. So again, these patterns are, this kind of style is a bit more in line with kind of what I do. I look for certain balls that I attack. I attack to the forehand side first a lot. I feel that opens the court up, and my forehand cross is pretty good. And then from here, I go back to the backhand, and I kind of try to finish on the forehand side, if possible. So take a look at these three patterns. When we get into tomorrow, when we work, and then next week, we're going to work in different ways on the court of getting these three balls, and this will allow you to kind of just patternize and just kind of like look for and identify these three balls and then go on it earlier. So I think your patterns are going to be probably around 2 or 3 instead of like the 4, 5, 6 we kind of talked about. And I think it's going to be more in line with what you are, kind of what your personality is a bit more. You're a bit more of a more aggressive on the court than versus kind of grind out 4, 5, 6, 7 ball rallies. Once we have these down, these patterns, and we're executing well, then getting into the net here, closing out points are going to come natural. So you're pretty good at net. So once we open the court up and you start getting short balls that are about here-ish, then you'd want to come in and knock off the volleys. So I think that's going to come easily to you once we kind of figure this process out here. Okay, thanks. Talk to you soon.